I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Taking a few minutes off of the blazing heat outside raking the leaves. Yeah, it's 90 degrees in September in Michigan. That's just unheard of. One of my friends on Facebook said that it's 90 degrees on September 22nd and it hasn't been 90 degrees all summer. I don't know if that's true or not, I didn't check. But that's what he said. I remember in high school, there wasn't any air conditioning in Coldwater High School, and it would get pretty freaking hot in September. But anyways, I'm down here in the basement cooling off. And the reason I'm doing that is I got a project. The planer that I got at the garage sale, blade's pretty dull. I want to see what it takes to sharpen it. So I'm going to get out the directions and have a look at the blades. This is kind of a unique way of closing up the box. I haven't seen this done. What they did is they just cut a slot in it, and so you can fold them over. Now this side's a little torn up, and I can see where they put plastic tape over the top of this one. I might have to do that on this side because I like it. Whoever had this before me took good care of their tools. They kept them in the box. And they also kept the directions, which I think is a marvelous thing to do. We'll put the box partition in there. It's a number 7696 planer made by Black & Decker. Directions on how to do the planing, what accessories you can get. I don't know, this is a fairly old piece of equipment. Might not be something that I can get my hands on real easy. It'd be a fun thing to see if I could make some of them. How to change and adjust blades. Yep, here we are, page 9. Replacement planer blades, there's a catalog number. 79699. It's actually 79-699, high-speed steel. Turn off and unplug planer. Planing depth adjustment knob in P position. How to change and adjust blades. For best results, keep the blades clean and replace when necessary. Replacement blades are available at your local Black & Decker service center. Do not attempt to sharpen these blades. Okay. We're not going to follow that little bit of direction. To change the blades, turn off and unplug planer. Yep, I think that's done. Perform steps 1 through 5 on both blades in the blade drum. Remove the hex wrench from the hole in the base of the switch handle as shown in figure 12. Let's see, hex wrench from the hole in the base. There. Hex wrench. That's cool. I had my extra wrenches over here in the bag of wrenches that Louie sent me. I figured out of this group I'd have enough wrenches to fit almost anything, but they sent one. But the planer came with one and the guy kept it. Now I'm supposed to set that knob to P. Okay. Remove the hex wrench from the hole in the base of the switch handle as shown in figure 12. Loosen, do not remove the 3 screws shown in figure 13. Note, there are 2 blades in the blade drum. Every operation you perform on one blade, you will also perform on the other. So there's 3 screws. Shows it here in figure 13. And there they are, 3 screws. Loosen, do not remove. Well, they're pretty snug, but they loosened up. Okay, that's one. Here's the second one. Just going to take a full hand on that handle. There's the second one. Here's the third and final. Make sure I got the hex key all the way down in the pocket. I think there's something down in there. I'm going to clean it out. Being careful around that blade edge, even though it's dull as far as the planer is concerned, may not mean it won't cut me. There. That's the last screw. Okay. I think I'm going to take this big Allen wrench and use that as a marker. That way it'll hold that book open for me. With the 3 screws loose, push the old blade out with a screwdriver. There's enough clearance on this side to push the blade out that way. And there it is. Well, that's tiny. Look at all the sawdust buildup on it. This side's dull as a butter knife, but this side's sharp. Yep, they never flipped the blade over. How's that? Well, it beats having to sharpen the thing. All I have to do is flip it over. This is the dull side. Makes a nice dent, but it doesn't cut much. This is the sharp side. Definitely sharp. So now all I have to do is shove this back in there. But I think I'm going to take a little toothbrush and I'm going to brush off all that junk in there. Scrub it up with a brass brush first. Blow away the dust. A little rust in there, not bad though. Sharp side up. Slide it back home. Use the screwdriver to push on the end. I don't want to catch my fingers in there. Make sure I've seated it. I'll use the toothbrush handle. Make sure it's down in and centered. Now I'm going to have to be careful because this edge is sharp. I'm going to snug up the center one. Up, back to the thing. With the 3 screws loose, push the old blade out with a screwdriver. Did that. Blades have 2 cutting edges on them, so that if this is the first time you are changing blades, you need only turn the blade around to expose the fresh cutting edge. Great. That's just what we did. Otherwise, you'll have to replace the blades. Install the new or reverse blade as shown in the close-up view shown in figure 14. Yep, slip it in just like we did. Slide the blade all the way in until the end of it is flush with the end of the blade drum marked A in figure 15. That's this end. Securely tighten all 3 screws for both blades and replace the hex wrench in the hole in the switch handle. Okay? I'm going to snug up the center one. Snug. And I'll bring up this one. And then this one. And bring all three up snug. Actually, this works pretty good if I do this. If I bring it up against that edge, I can use that as a fulcrum to turn the Allen wrench against. Easily tighten it right up. There. Fair amount of wood dust build up on the front edge of that hole there. But we cleaned it off and we're all good. Now roll that around. It says right there, max 20,000 RPM. Well, I don't have any control over that. I will be sure not to pull the trigger hard enough to make it go faster than 20,000 RPM. Okay, now loosen this. Clean around those bolt heads. That works a lot better getting that screw loose. I don't have to worry about that thing flipping around and catching my fingers. All three screws are loose. Bring that one back. Slide the blade out with a screwdriver. Go in there and clean that up with a wire brush. Now this is a brass wire brush. It's not going to go in there and damage anything. Okay, now this is the sharp edge. Test again. Dull side, nothing. Sharp side, definitely cuts. Now there's a groove along the back of the blade, and that has to go towards the screws. There we go. Just got to fit it into the slot. Make sure it's down snug. And I'm pretty sure that groove is there to make sure that you have the blade in the proper position. Snug down the blade, center screw, then snug down the outer two screws. I always like to have everything snug before I torque anything down. Run that Allen bolt up against, run the Allen wrench, well they call it a hex key. Run the hex key up against the platen here. Use that as a fulcrum. And bring that around. There. Nice and tight. Those are very good directions. Tighten all the screws. Place the hex key back in the slot. Securely tighten all 3 screws for both blades and replace the hex wrench in the hole in the switch handle. That's it. Got it. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.